Can an ancient remedy become a modern patent? Most AYUSH patent applications never make it through because discovering a plant isn't enough. Mixing known ingredients isn't enough. Traditional knowledge alone isn't patentable. What matters is innovation, a formulation, process, or extraction method that creates a measurable technical improvement. Learn how real inventions, from herbal formulations to extraction methods and therapeutic devices, became patentable. Understand exactly what patent examiners look for: experimental evidence, synergism, technical effect, and compliance with Indian patent law. If you are working in Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, Yoga, Naturopathy, or herbal innovation, this webinar could change how you protect your research.
Hello, everyone. A very good morning to all of you who have already joined. We'll be waiting a few more minutes such that the other participants can join. And people who have stayed tuned with us for the last 5 weeks on every second Saturday for this session, thank you very much. And those who are new, I hope you enjoy this session and many more that are going to come. So we'll wait for 5 more minutes and then we'll begin. So till we have the people joining us, let's have a quick discussion about what we are going to discuss today. So today we have the fifth lecture that is on the AYUSH scheme that has been launched by the government, by the Patent Office in the year 2025, which helps to protect our traditional knowledge in different ways. So we'll be discussing why it was not protected previously, what were the problems that were faced by the educational institutes, by the Indian knowledge about the traditional knowledge in Ayurveda, in Unani, and so many other scriptures, or the knowledge that we had regarding these kind of these kind of fields and innovations that we were doing. So we'll be discussing all. And now, as per the new reforms that the Patent Office has come up, how we can protect all those things, we'll be discussing. We'll be discussing few examples to understand how different combinations of traditional knowledge can be implemented, how they are protected. We'll be discussing everything in depth. So stay tuned with us. And today, I know you might be thinking that the background is not similar like that we had in the first 4 lectures. It's because our MYCrave team is in the cradle of Ayurveda, that is in the state of Kerala. For next few weeks, I mean, we are in the state of Kerala for multiple seminar sessions, for multiple meetings. So if anybody wants to have a lecture in Kerala, you can reach our team. Our team is already here. We have had few lectures and we'll be having it till I think 8th or 9th of August. So because I think this is the best place to have a lecture on AYUSH. So I think we are quite lucky this time. So we'll be having the lecture from here. I wish I could actually show you the view here. It's beautiful. Although I think my entire office is facing harsh rain in Gujarat, but we have very sunny, beautiful mornings here. So today, I think it's the best ambience to have the discussion regarding AYUSH scheme. So people who are connected here, I believe that they are from the background where such things are implemented. And you will see that when we talk about Ayurveda or when we talk about the scheme, it's not just about the medical sector. There are so many different fields where this implementation is bringing a lot of reforms. And it was really necessary that the government brings in these things. Okay, so before we move on to our official lecture, I would just like to know that this session is being conducted under Invent Mission. So people who have already been with us, they know what Invent Mission is. But those who are new, for them, just a quick brief about what Invent Mission is. So under Invent Mission, our company has taken up a target to provide or to educate more than 5 lakh people across India. We have educated in the last 12 years of our company, we have educated more than 2 lakh people. But in the next 3 years, we want to reach 5 lakh. So that is one of the targets. We want to reach everyone that is possible. So that is what Mission Invent is. So we want to address a mass number of people, spread awareness as much as possible. So people who are connected with us, I sincerely request that if you are working in education institute, if you are in a position to gather few people, you want to educate them, provide them a proper, transparent knowledge regarding what IPR is, how they can benefit from it academically and commercially and financially, please do give a call to our team. We are spreading our wings across India. We have done so many lectures, but this time our entire team is working and trying to reach every place as possible. So we want to make this entire procedure simpler for the people across India and to provide correct, transparent knowledge, remove all myths. So that's the entire intention of this. So it's not just about we don't want just to educate people who are in industries or who are in the field of R&D, but we want to reach students, researchers, startups, entrepreneurs, and people from the grassroots level. That means he or she might be a farmer, a labor people, or a worker class people. Anybody who is working with some tools can be a part of this mission. So if you have people such who you think that needs this, please let us know. So we have, under this, we are doing multiple seminar sessions, workshop sessions. We are establishing Invent Club, where we teach people how to think innovative. See, when you go to a school or industry, the first thing that they teach is how to do it, right? So under Invent Club, we'll be teaching how to see innovation, how to think innovative. And yes, it's a part of, as you can see, the full form of Invent always meant that idea nurturing for visionary entrepreneurs and thinkers. So our entire intention is to nurture them, the people who have good thoughts, who have good ideation, to bring it to a commercial aspects. Okay, innovative, to show them what actually reality of innovation is and how to protect it. So that's the entire intention with this seminar lectures. The Invent mission is powered by MYCrave Consultancy. It's a 12-year-old company. The founders have always been very progressive, very outgoing regarding the awareness about IPR. That's how the company started, with the seminar sessions, and now they are into the field of service industry of providing the services of IPR. But that has been the core foundation to spread the correct knowledge to as much people as possible. So it is powering Mission Invent to spread these wings, to spread more knowledge about IPR. So if you want to connect with us, if you want to be a part of Mission Invent, just go down to our webpage and you can connect with us, be a member, help us conduct more seminar sessions like this. Okay, so I think we have few participants who have already joined, and so we'll jump into lecture because we don't like delaying the lectures. So we'll begin with this. We had 4 lectures already where we discussed about the basics of IPR, where we discussed about the commercialization aspect of IPR, what CRI stands for, how to do a prior art search. We already had these 4 lectures. People who missed these lectures, you can just go to our YouTube page, that is MyCrave. You can find all our lectures. We have very detailed, elaborate lectures where we are discussing about the basics, including how to draft, how to file. We have all those lectures there. If you are interested to have such a lecture at your campus, just give us a call. We can do even specific lectures for you. Okay. So we will have much more lectures ahead depending upon your request. If you have anything specific that you want to learn from us, just let us know through mails, through pings. We have uploaded this video everywhere as possible, and do connect us on LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever is possible. Okay, thank you. So today we are discussing completely about what AYUSH patent guidelines are. So Indian Patent Office introduced a complete guidelines about AYUSH. Now, what is AYUSH? AYUSH is a short form which they are focusing on Ayurveda, yoga, naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, and homeopathy. So the inventions that were taking place in these fields were always considered under general category. That means it was always thought that that these are from traditional knowledge, and those were never allowed to be patented in India. But now, because there is a huge growth in this market, people now understand that there are so many natural ingredients or knowledge that we as Indians own that needs to be protected. Not just what traditionally was provided. People who are studying, researching in this field are bringing out a lot of innovations. So that needs to be well protected. And that is why the patent office and the government had to think that we need to protect it. Everyone took this very casually, and that is why people in US, Germany, and other countries snatched those things from India and patented it there. You might have heard about the turmeric, the neem, these things being these knowledge is being snatched from India and getting it patented across the world, right? And India had to fight to get those things back to India. That means if you want to sell, let's say, a concussion or a soap that was made from turmeric, you will have to take the license from US to sell it in US, because they were like, they have the patent of it. So that was so wrong. We already had knowledge about the antibiotic effect of turmeric. We had the so many researchers that, or the knowledge that we had in our old books, right? So government of India came to know that, until and unless we protect it here, it's always going to be a question of the novelty. So that is where Ayush scheme came into picture. It took years for them to bring it, but last year, yes, we did it. We got that guidelines. Okay. So because of, we have, see, it's not just about the combination. India is a land of so many herbs. We have so many herbal things growing that every day we can build something. There are solutions. We have even seen studies where turmeric has been a main ingredient for treating cancer, or to remove cancer, or to reduce the possibility of cancer. There have been so many studies going on, but because we cannot patent it, that created a lot of issue in the market. That's where Ayush had to come in picture. Multiple patent took rejections because of this, because there was an entire section that claimed non-patentability on traditional knowledge. So because of all these factors, there was no proper examination of the document. See, there were certain factors where scientific words were used and scientific methodology were described, and there was a time where the extract that was obtained was not patented, but the method was. So it took a lot of questioning. So there was not a proper method of examination where the question of Ayush had been raised. And because of which in 2025, they came up with a scheme that is Ayush. Okay. So to safeguard traditional knowledge, to encourage genuine invention, and to complement existing framework. This is why the patent had to come. See, the discussion about the Ayush scheme was there in picture since 2012. Can you imagine? It took us like almost 12, 13 years to bring the Ayush scheme into picture, because there was a lot of questioning regarding like how we can implement it, how it will be fruitful, and will it genuinely question what is already existing. There were so many questions that had to be addressed. So it took us almost 12, 13 years to bring that Ayush into scheme. So basically, Ayush covers all these three sectors, that is Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Siddha, Ripa. So as you can, homeopathy, all these sectors are covered under Ayush scheme. Okay. So now, when we talk about the Ayush scheme, it's not just about herbal medicine. See, whenever we think about, Ayurveda, or when we talk about natural ingredients, we immediately run for medicinal use. वो medicines में तो use होता है. That's where our thought runs to. But it's not just about medicine. There are nutraceuticals, right? Now people understand that it's for a regular need. That means it's not just the food that we consume. You might have heard our parents, or people like our grandparents, who are always like, the food is not the good quality now what it used to be. We used to eat this much and we have strength of this much, the quality is very bad. We start talking like that, and now people are more inclined to nutraceuticals, where these needs are fulfilled. Like for protein you have something, for calcium you have something, for for immunity you have something. The pandemic brought glowy tablets like this. Our grandparents used to be like, what, we used to have glowy growing like everywhere. We used to just crush them, eat, drink the juice. Our generation cannot do that. Okay, so we need everything in hand, like just consume it in one shot. That's what we want, right? So that's where the nutraceutical company had to come into picture. But because they had natural ingredients, the patentability was always a matter of question. Then came the food formulations. You might have heard, right? Now, when we were kids, we used to talk like, I need to, especially people who were always health conscious, or people who had a body type where, even if they eat air, they used to gain weight. So there are two types of people who always discuss like that we should have a tablet, like a thing, which if we consume and we are like full for the day. We used to talk about astronauts having a single small packaging. If they consume, they have the entire diet of having a lot of protein or something of that sort. So the food industry, the food formulation industry has grown widely. And now there is a need to patent the technology there. See, and other is healthcare. Obviously, when we talk about medicine, when we talk about healthcare, we are not just talking about the medicine. We are talking about the proper proportion in which the medicine has to be consumed. See, when we talk about, we have a wrong illusion when we talk about Ayurvedic medicine or homeopathic medicine. We think that I have heard this from so many people. Yeah, Ayurvedic hai, thoda zyada kha loge, it's okay. Means there is a misconception that because it's Ayurvedic, it's from natural ingredients, you can consume it how much ever you want, and it won't cause harm to your body. It's not true. I met with few doctors here, and they clearly instructed that even Ayurvedic medicine, homeopathic medicine, has a tenure to take it. There is a proper temperature, there's a proper timing. The Ayurvedic medicines do not cause harm like this, like the English medicines that you take, it does not cause harm like that, but it does not mean that you can abuse. Acting was always a main part which was never focused on. But under Ayush scheme, now even that can be patented. So we're taking a lot of examples to understand every part of it. Please do, I'm audible, I believe. Yeah. So, okay, Amiga, I'm audible, right? So, I'm so sorry. I think I just jumped my network. Okay. So, yeah. So, as I was saying that even if the patent office has come up with multiple schemes and all those parameters, still you will be questioned under few things. So first is invention 21J. See, what is 21J? Please understand. I think we had a discussion before, but let me talk again. Invention 21J, section 21J talks about the inventiveness of the patent. That means they need to know that the method of implementation, the process of implementation has never been discussed before, which brings out the same output. See, the problem is when we talk about Ayurveda or when we talk about something, there might be a similarity in the procedure or the step of implementation. If it does not bring out a technical effect or a technical enhancement to what is currently existing, that is the output, it will create questioning. So please be careful that every time you might have seen the cited patents, right? If you have ever applied for a patent, you might have seen the citations which look similar to your application. So it always happens. So please be careful that the citations look similar. The second is section 3C and 3D, which talks about mere discovery of living and non-living organisms. This you need to understand. See, when you're working in this sector, when you're working in naturopathy, Ayurveda, if you identify a plant which can, let's say, cure something or which is helpful to reduce something, let's say you identified a plant which can be helpful for inflammation in the body. Okay, so now that is one of the biggest parameters which people have been discussing, right? If you discovered a plant, it is non-patentable. I do understand that you might have done so much research to identify the characteristics of the plant. You can give that plant your own name, okay? Let's say I invented a plant, you can give it the name Pooja something, okay? Whatever you want to give it. But you cannot stop people from using that plant. So there is always that parameter when it comes to Indian patent. Discoveries cannot be patented. Until and unless you come up with a formulation or a method of extraction to obtain the exact parameter or the exact proportion in a proper way to implement into a medication format, you cannot apply a patent on the plant. But if you create a medical formulation, then the AYUSH scheme will take it up. But otherwise, if you're just saying, you know what, I discovered a plant, now I want to patent it such that nobody uses an inflammation, not possible. The formulation can be patented, but the plant cannot be. Okay. The second thing is section 3E. Substances obtained by a mere admixture resulting only in the aggregation of the properties. So here under the AYUSH scheme, what they are trying, not just the AYUSH scheme, under section 3, this is the non-patentability clause. The entire section 3 is talking about non-patentability. So under section 3, what they are trying to say is that if you create a combination, that means let's say you combined 3 ingredients. You combined long, okay, I think it's called long only. Long, let's say turmeric and let's say tulsi. You combined, you know all the properties of these things. You just took it, just combined it, and you're like, you know what, this is a formulation for, let's say, throat issues or maybe cough and cold or flu. The government will not agree because the government is like, they are not changing the properties of each ingredient. That means if you ever had a cough or cold, you might have seen that your parents might give you a bit of honey in hot water or something of that sort, right? So That is because they know the soothing effect of honey. So you cannot come up and tell me, you know what, let's mix honey with some turmeric and mix it with milk and now you drink it. There are certain things which are generically known to people. They have the ancestral knowledge of it, so you cannot apply for a patent. Or certain things which does not bring out any new impact which the individual ingredients would have. So that is called admixture. So you cannot apply under it. You need to be very careful when you're applying under this. Okay, so if this gets caught in this clause, you will have to have a proper justification. And the last is section 3p, that is for the traditional knowledge. That means if something is already known, if there is a book on it, if there is an article on it, or if it has been known by people of certain community also. See, people are so extraordinarily smart. There are certain communities which are very secretive about their medicines. You might have heard, right? There are so many communities in India who are very secretive, but they have formulations even to treat dangerous injuries, and they never disclose it. Okay, until and unless you cross path with them. If you find something of that sort and decide to file for a patent, the government won't agree. Okay, so please be very careful when you're applying under the AYUSH scheme. It should not fall under either of these, otherwise you'll get caught. So this is the general example. If you want to apply for a patent, four things will imply. One is the novelty. That means the idea has never been disclosed before. But let's say you come up, like I have designed a cough syrup. So the concept of cough syrup already exists. But here comes the matter, means that is the inventive step. Inventive step says that if you have created a formulation, the methodology, the components, ingredients, the process, something has to stand different to what is currently existing. Otherwise, it will get caught under the non-patentability clause. Okay. Third is industrially applicable. Industrially applicable, as discussed before, it has two terms. One is it should be usable in the industry, for sure. Like obviously, if you're creating a medicine, it's always useful for the human beings. Second, it should be industrially reproducible. Please understand, you cannot come up with a formulation and say, you know what, the formulation that I created, it cannot be recreated by the industry. Only it can be made by me at my home, but they won't allow it. Okay, so it should be industrially applicable and industrially replicable. It should, carry both of these things. See why it is. See, as we discussed before, patent is always done for human benefits, such that after the person who has created this, the person who creates this, once he or she gets the enough credibility or the credit of whatever they have invented, after 20 years, it should be made public for the benefit of others. The best example, recently, I think this year itself, recently, few months back, the medicine which was used to lose weight, basically it was used by diabetic people, but it was helping to reduce weight. The patent of it got public, means the 20 years lifespan got public. And do you know the price of the original medicine came down by thousands? Because now there is no patent. Anybody can replicate it, anybody can duplicate it. So that's the power of patent. Once it is public, that means for 20 years, the company enjoyed the royalty that it deserved for the manufacturing, for the exports, for the imports and everything, all the things that it was doing, the marketing and, R&D. But after 20 years, it has to be made public such that anybody can use it. Okay. So, and the fourth parameter is traditional knowledge. That means the section 3. Non-patentability. It should not fall under either of the three. It should not be an admixture. As I told you, it should not be just a mixture of 3 to 4 combination. The second is it should not be a discovery. And the third is it should not be derived from any traditional knowledge which was already known. Okay. So when we talk about synergism, now if you are filing a patent under obviously the AYUSH scheme, or if you're filing a patent which has something related to any of these fields, they will always ask you what is the synergistic effect. Now, what does that mean? It means that when you're combining two formulation, that is A plus B, it should always be greater than the combination when they're individually standing. Like for example, if you find a ingredient, you took another ingredient. Now A and B. Okay. Now A has a particular properties. Okay, when you consume it individually, it gives you one thing. When you consume the second one, it gives you one thing. But when you combine A and B, it should give you a third output or a better output in combination. Simple. If it is there, if there is a synergism, then only will come under this category. If you, like for example, if you're combining something of generic knowledge, it will not. See, when we cook food, okay, that's the best example of this parameter. When we cook food, the salt, the pepper, the garam masala, everything, they have their individual property. But when we combine it, it gives out a different flavor, right? It makes food, okay. It's See, if you just, there is something called as, let's say, because we are in the land of Kerala, there is something called as sambar powder. Okay, so if you just put sambar powder in water, it will not make sambar. That's something, right? It will not make sambar because it's sambar powder. There are ingredients. There are a particular temperature at which it is heated. There is dal. There is vegetables. There is salt into it. There are so many ingredients which makes the sambar, right? So until and unless it brings out an effect, it will not be considered under patentability. But if it does, if it brings out a new formulation, it brings out a different effect, aroma, something of the sort, you can apply for a patent. Okay, so when you are applying under AYUSH scheme, there are certain things that are currently mandatory. One is the experimental data, because that means when you are providing a patent, if it is better than what is currently existing, you need to have experimental data. Experimental data means it has to have a comparative data. This is what was currently existing. This is what I have created. This was providing this much effect. This is providing this much effect. So that comparison will help you to define the range which you have mentioned in your patent. Okay, so that will be the first thing. The result of individual ingredients. Because we are talking about synergism, we need to understand that each component, each ingredient should be individually tested. That okay, A was providing this effect, B was providing this effect, C was providing this effect. But when we combine it, it's providing a different effect. So you need to have that difference clearly stated. Okay, statistical evidence, obviously the graph, the points and all those things. You are very quite advanced in that sector. And scientific explanation. Always have a scientific explanation, but I think that is a part of patent. That means the process or the mechanism, what you have used, the output that you're deserving, or the test case reports or human testing that you have done. All these things will help to support your patent and bring out quicker results. Okay. Database used by patent examiners. So when they are when they are validating your document, they are going to refer to multiple databases. See, that is why I told you, when we talk about traditional knowledge, if that data exists with somebody, you are going to have a lot of issues to prove that it's not of a traditional knowledge. So they will definitely search through the traditional knowledge digital library, the AYUSH research portal, the eChakra, the FRLTH database, that means Foundation of Revitalization of Local Health Traditions. See, these people do not assume that the people who are involved in such a big provision have no knowledge of it. So please don't treat patent office to be any less educated or any less knowledgeable, because they are a big agency. They have a lot of databases. They have access to government databases where the tribal, they have the tribal repository. They have the local health traditional knowledge, the traditional knowledge database. They have so much access. So do not come up with a technology or an invention which is really known by somebody, because they have access much more bigger than you can even imagine. Okay. So now we'll start talking about examples, because I think that will help us to understand. But before we talk about examples, see, as I told you, my team is I have a team who prepares these presentations, and especially I'm very thankful to Saurabh for such great presentations that he has been doing. But there are few scientific words he has used in this, and I am not a pro person in the biological sector. So if I pronounce something wrong, please excuse me. I'll try my best to pronounce it correctly. But as you know, everybody cannot know everything. But we do have an expert, Srishti Rajaguru, who handles our entire Gujarat branch. She is very well expert in this. So if you ever have a patent in it, she'll be the right person who will be guiding you. So we have experts in different fields across MYCrave. So do not worry about it. But because I'm taking the presentation, I just have to let you know, because I don't want comments. Yeah, this word was pronounced incorrectly. No, please do not, just understand the emotion that I'm trying to put into Ayush than just picking up on my words and grammars. Okay, so that's just one thing. So as we were talking about the synergism, combination of curcumine plus pepper. Okay, so here, as you can see, the curcumin, that means haldi, or you can say turmeric, it was showing low bioavailability, and pepper, which was used, and it was combined to create a significant capsule, so to increase bioabsorption and therapeutic efficacy. So when I consume turmeric. If you have ever consumed turmeric, it does not get absorbed well into the body. And the pepper, even if you consume that, it gives you less effect when it is properly grounded or extracted. It gives a different effect. So here, as per the people who created the medication, they decided that let's extract the parameters from them and then create a capsule such that when it is consumed, it gives the proper therapeutic effect and absorption to the body than when consumed directly. So can you see that they are not trying to remove the medicinal effect or to lower or higher the medicinal effect. Here what they're trying to do is the absorption ratio by the body when directly consumed and when combined and created in your capsule, the absorption rate increases. So when there is any form of increase in the efficiency, it can be applied into patent. But here, when you come up with a paste, now let's say you created a mixture by combining turmeric, ginger, and tulsi. There is no effect. You just create, like, this can be done at any person's layman home. And I think whenever you have a cough cold, you might be drinking a kadha that we call, right? A decoction or a combination where you usually boil these things in water and drink it, so that it gives you a very soothing effect. So here, there is no advancement, there is no change in the property. Every ingredient's property is consumed by the body to give you a particular effect. So because all the ingredients are known, there is no experimental data, but just a mere admixture. We talked about it. It will be falling under the admixture category, that is section 3D. That is why it won't be considered a patent. So please be very careful that what type of example you're putting in front of the patent office. So the first type that is acceptable by the patent is a novel formulation. So if you're creating as we discussed before, if you're creating a formulation where you're taking two ingredients, there is a proper method to extract, there is a proper method to combine, there is a proper temperature at which the combination has to take place. See, it's not always about heating. I have very good clients in the field of dental industry who talks about combining these ingredients at a very low temperature. That means they mix the ingredients and put it into a very cold temperature, chilling into a freezer, and then the ingredients combine well when it is being used. So there are two methodologies. There is a cooling effect, there is a heating effect. So if there is a proper method to create the formulation, and the formulation which is finally created has proper proportion, then that can be applied for a patent. Okay. So when we talk about a novel formulation, you need to be very sure about the percentages. Okay. So always clients ask me that, why should I mention the percentage? Okay. See, there are so many people who have a problem with the complete disclosure. So they are like, what if I provide it in a range? Yes, you can definitely provide it into the range, but as I told you, the test case reports and the data are mandatory. So you need to at least submit to the government that what if, let's say you have ranged it between 10% to 15%. That means you need 10 to 15% of turmeric, 2 to 5% of tulsi, and like that. Okay. So the government is going to ask you what will happen if the percentage is below 2% or above 5%. You need to define it. Okay. So let's say in the ingredient, if you go above 5%, is there a wrong effect? Or is there a difference in the efficiency that you got by the comparison range 2 to 5. You will have to mention that. So when you mention specific range, the government is going to be very specific about why there is a range. Even if you give them a perfect range, even if you are not using a range, but a perfect proportion. Let's say you will say that, 6% of this, 5% of this, 4% of this. Even in that case, there is a requirement of test case study to prove if it is not in this combination, what is the difference in the efficiency received? There is always that question that will stand. Okay. So you need to understand that the proportion, the percentage that you're mentioning always gives you a very impactful result. I experienced this when I was recently talking to a controller at the patent office where okay, so I'm not talking about a scheme and like Ayurveda or this sector, but I was talking in the field where he was creating I think a fertilizer. To my knowledge, we were just discussing where a proportion of sulfur and nitrogen was being discussed. Obviously, because he's an industrial person, he had those percentages specifically mentioned. And by changing few percentage, like a bit of a percentage, like 1 to 2%, the proper absorption of the soil was changing. So that was the entire thing. See, use of sulfur, use of nitrogen in soil is not a new knowledge. It has already been done. But the combination, the percentage that was used was providing a better absorption ratio by the soil. And he had a test case to prove that. So that was very impressive because, see, when you are in this field, you learn something every day. So when I am talking with you or when I'm discussing with you, the best part is I have experienced so many client data. I have read through so many client data, which gives you, a lot of help. Which gives you a lot of examples also to interact. So if you have a question, keep putting it in the chat box. We'll be answering everything. So when I talk about the proportion and ingredients, that is how the patent office is going to judge you, that whether this much percentage is possible and that much percentage is possible. Other thing, okay, now this is one of the important knowledge. See, when you are in operating in this field, let's say you have certain ingredients that requires a medical judgment. Okay, you are not from the medical sector. Like, for example, I am not from the medical sector or medical background, but I do understand the importance of turmeric and haldi. Okay, let's talk it in another way. If you are not from the science background, let's say you are from a engineering background, let's say you're from a civil engineering. Now, because people are getting so much eco-friendly, I created a tile or a brick which has a mixture or a composition where I can repel, let's say, mosquitoes and pests. Okay, so what I did was I took few ingredients which are known and I mixed it into the tiles to make it repellent to mosquitoes and lizards and everything. Because I am a civil engineer, there might always be a question, how did you know? Okay. That is where you submit research papers and references. Yes, I have experienced this too. I was questioned once that how does a person know about all these things? So if you have researched through multiple research papers, if you're not in the medical sector, you can always give the study by the big people who have already done research in the sector to prove that this is possible. So what he or she, my client, what they did was they gave multiple test case study to prove that this combination is very safe, which is child-friendly, eco-friendly, and it had all natural ingredients when combined in a proper proportion. And, if you just, like the mosquito repellent, Odomos, we all use it, right? We actually apply to our skin and the mosquitoes stay far, the smell and whatever the reason it is. So he was like, this is a research by multiple people, and here is the proper test case report that then this concussion or when this solution is used, into a combination, when or applied to the walls or to the beds or to the linens, the mosquitoes stay away. So what I did was I took the entire combination, mixed it into my tiles combination, and when I used it, the smell cannot be felt by the humans, but it does not let mosquitoes or lizards come. Now, how did he do that? Now this is very interesting because he took a piece of tile. Now, he had a video of it. That's why it was very funny. He created that tile and he had it, There were few mosquitoes. He had it one on its one wall. It was hanging, and he had few mosquitoes there. And he used to bring it very close to it, and the mosquitoes would run away. Like, hit chalu karte to kaisa hota hai? You have that mosquito repellent or fix in your house. The mosquitoes used to run away. I mean, it was very interesting to see. So he had a video, and he was like, "Sir, can you see? Do you want a live example?" It was that funny of a hearing that we had, but yes, that is how you prove your case. That is how you can show that this is possible. So yeah, I know that was just a funny example, but yes, if you have a lot of research papers, studies which you can bring forth to the patent office, they'll accept that too. So it's not always about proof data, but if you have proof from somebody else's study, you can also use that. Okay. So that's about novel formulation. Now talking about novel dosage and forms. This is a fantastic aspect which the patent registry captured. What they are telling is that if there is a medicine that needs to be inserted into the body, but there is a proper proportion, time and concentration in which it has to go into the body, if that can be controlled, there is a mechanism you can patent it. Now here, as you can see, there is a transdermal patch. That means it can be like a band-aid hota hai, right? Now you might have seen that there are pain patches. If you have a back pain or shoulder pain or something of that, you just tape that bandage to your shoulder. It has a medicine that can keep on secreting into your body in a proper proportion, and I think you can use it for a day. To my knowledge, 12 to 24 hours, to my knowledge. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry about it. But now you have transdermal patches. If you can create a patch like that, you can apply for a patent. This is, I think, now I couldn't imagine to the extent where the dosage had impact. Now, I was working with a client from, I think, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, Mumbai, in the medical sector, I believe. Now, what she did was, medical or nursing, I'm sorry, I'm confused about it, but I think she was from nursing sector. Now, what she did was, she told me her patent was beautiful. She told that after the delivery of a child, okay, the female goes through a lot of pain. For healing that, lavender oil gives a lot of impact. So what she did was she created a bathing a bowl in which the lavender oil, the proportion of the lavender oil was controlled, the water that is filled into the bowl, the temperature was controlled. Secondly, the time tenure which the mother took the bath or sink her body into the lavender a hot bath was controlled, and doing that multiple times a day at a proper interval healed that mother, gave her a soothing effect which the normal medicine could not do it. Can you understand? There are 3 parameters. First, heating water is not a novelty. Lavender oil is not a novelty. Taking a bath in good oil is not a novelty. But what she did was, she brought out a problem, a medical problem, which I think billions of people across the world are facing. She said that the proper proportion of lavender oil in a properly heated water at this temperature with a proper controlled time bath gives that soothing effect, which the normal people cannot experience. Why do you think that we go to professionals for any kind of help? It's because they know when to control, how much to control, what proportion. That is what she patented, and she has a patent on it. It's a registered patent. I think that was my first experience regarding a novel dosage. I was so impressed by it. I mean, I know I might sound very nice, but or something of that sort, but I was surprised the way she presented that case. And that was my first experience with the patent office after the AYUSH scheme had come. It was really impressive. So that gave me a confidence that everybody has something of that sort. Okay, everybody in your field does have that experience. So if that can be patented, there are so many things that can be patented. Other experience with which I had was a person created a yoga mat with Panchgavya. Now people who already are in this field, they know what is Panchgavya. That is 5 ingredients, including milk, curd, I think Gaumutra. I forgot the 4th ingredient. Now he used that extract onto a mat that made from the husk of some plant, and he gave a soothing effect. That means if you sit on this and do yoga, it heals your body. It gives a smell that will heal your senses and give you a more meditative state. Amazing. He controlled the proportion of creating the Panchgavya, the application of the Panchgavya, the time to let the mat rest, such that it gives that synergistic effect. It was a brilliant patent, and it is from BKT College, Maharashtra. I know that professor because he was retiring at that time and he applied for a patent. Beautiful. So now you understand when I talk about formulation and dosage, right? These examples always gives me a, a very better way to interact with people, because these are something that I've done it and I've seen it happen. Okay, so now we are talking about method of extraction. To get the proper proportion, or to get the proper ingredients that is required for the processing, if there is a natural extracting methodology, and if you created a technical method to extract it, you can apply for a patent. Okay, therapeutic use of a novel combination. Like for example, if you create a formulation which was not previously known, it can be in any field. It's not mandatorily something that already has been known. So like use a formulation comprising 2 ingredients for reducing insulin resistance in type 2 diabetes. See, as I told you, when you talk about novel combinations, one is already known, 2 is already known. We combine 1, 2 and it gives a better effect than what one individually or 2 individually was doing. Apply for a patent. Okay, so when we talk about process or method, it will always ask, means the patent office will always ask you, how is it better to what was currently existing? You need to have a test case report, a lab report to claim it. You cannot come up with a hypothetical idea. See, the best part about engineering sector is certain rules, regulations, theory imply. If they imply, the effect can be explained. But when we talk about Ayurveda, Unani or homeopathy, they are very specific. The effect has to be measured. Either human testing, animal testing, something, or maybe effect has to be studied. Proportion has to be known. If that is it the case, you'll have to prove it. Okay. Examples of this, where a kit is made. So if you're talking about Ayurveda, the best part is there are devices now. Like for example, I had if you have ever had an Ayurvedic experience here anyway, like including Kerala, you might have heard the word kiri. Now, what is kiri? It's a hot bag, right? It is after a proper massage, it is used to soothe the pain, or to give you such that it is actually a potli of maybe what here. It's a bag which contains lot of medicinal things. It is combined into an oil. It's heated, and whenever you press it into certain regions, those medicines get secreted into your body through your thumb, obviously through your skin, and it soothes the pain, or it gives a proper healing to certain things. So that is something. If you have ever had a Ayurvedic massage, you know what a kiri is. Okay, I can pronounce that word because I'm a Malayali. Okay. So if you have ever used it, you know how the traditional way work. I had a client who was like, see, that is done manually. What if I create a device which have the micropores, and the same mixture, the same medicine that has been used into the bag, I use it into the machine. It will smoothly move through the body surface wherever it is required, and it will provide heat to a certain extent. If the person is uncomfortable with the heat, he can say high or low, and the heat of the the mixture that is being injected, or to provide it to the skin surface, will be in a controlled manner. So instead of just a potli which is used by the humans manually, he created a device for it. If you convert anything that is naturally available into a device, you can apply for a patent. Even if you design any small instrument, also you can apply for a patent. Like for example, here you can see a digital inhalation device. This is a nebula. You might have used if you ever had a cough, cold of any kind. Usually what we do is, if you have eucalyptus oil at home, you basically put it into water, you cover your head, and you take that steam. It's very good. It's very soothing if you have a very bad cough, cold, or a very bad headache. It helps. But instead of that, who is going to boil the water and do all those stuff? Instead of that, here they have created a mask type device. That means your entire head and neck and everything does not have to go inside it. Only nose and mouth area has to go. So here they have created a device. So when you put your head into the mask, only this much portion is covered, not your entire face and skin and everything. Every pores will get open. So instead of that, just put it here. Then you can just switch it on. So all the mixture, there's a water heater below. It will heat. Slowly the steam will come up, and only the required portion you will have to inhale. If you're uncomfortable, you can just move your head back. But if a device like this is created, you can apply for a patent. Okay. Entire cosmetic industry. If you are creating any form of cosmetic, it can be a face serum, a hair oil, and anything regarding your fingers, the cream, anything that is applicable outside, consumable inside, it can be applied for a patent. Okay. So when we talk about, let's say, a skin serum, which consists of aloe vera or, anything, licorice or any nanotechnology that you're using for better, better for your skin or your hair, then you can apply for a patent. See, I understood this very closely. I was listening to an interview of I think dermatologist, and they explained that we all have been using, hyaluronic serum for glowing skin and all those things. And that is where the interviewer asked him that, do you think that the serum that we are using for the glow and does it work? So he was like, you know what, the molecule size, that was brilliant. We never think about it. The molecule size that comes in the serum cannot be absorbed by your face. There are certain serums which has a proper proportion of the molecule size which can be taken up by the derma layer of your skin, and that will provide you a temporary glow. That is why you apply the serum multiple times, because you think, and you just applied it in the morning, and after a few hours you think that the glow is going, and then you apply it. It's because it's not entering your skin. Okay, but there are, do you know what the doctors do? They take that serum into a syringe and they inject it into a layer below the skin. You have multiple layers of your skin, right? And then they inject it because the molecule is only absorbed by your skin pores of a particular size. We never think of these things, but these people who are in the sector of cosmetology or nutracosmetics, they know these things. So there was a brilliant interview. I think it's on YouTube. I think so you should watch it. You will understand that whenever these people are designing something, whenever nanotechnology is involved, whenever what these people are doing is they are making things go inside of. Why do you think that even after a very good massage, they put you into a steam chamber? Why do they do that? Because they want your pores to open wider than they are currently, such that the entire oil get absorbed into your skin. Why do these Ayurvedic treatment people say, 6 months guarantee? Because after that, the skin's absorption goes up. Now you need a new oils to enter your skin. It's an external treatment. So these doctors were like if you take our injection treatment, it might take a few months. Okay. It will give you 6 months to 1 year of glowness, so that the serums cannot provide you. Have you ever thought of that? Think. So whenever you can see, when you watch those interviews, you understand that what is the difference between each ingredient that they're mentioning. Right now, what we see is, okay. So this has retinol, this has hyaluronic. So this works for anti-aging and this works for glowing skin, but that's not the case. Even the proportion, the size, all those things matter. And when I saw nano encapsulation, that is where I remembered him saying that it matters. And that is where every technology, methodology, implementations, they all need to get it patented. Okay. So this is just few examples that I have read through, heard. It's fun to discuss it with so many people whenever I'm having a lecture. So if you have more questions, you can always have an interaction with us, because with examples, we can explain how these things work. Okay, so you'll always remember, if you're thinking about patent, you'll always remember an example. You're like, if they implement it in this way, you can always implement it in this way. And that is the entire gist of this session. Okay, so that I can help you to remember. I can help you to understand easier. Okay. So when we're talking about nutraceuticals, yes, the food items. There are so many foods that are being created. Created in the sense they are being manufactured in laboratories for multiple effects in the body. See, now our entire body is made of things that are hybrid, which are not original, which has so much contamination. But now the body, human evolution is beautiful. We get adjusted to even poison if it is required. You might have heard about Chandragupta Maurya, right? So we have heard stories where poison was fed to a person and he became resistant to it. Now that is how human body works. So these industries are actually trying to feed us certain things that will help us to create a resistance or immunity that is required against the world or against the food that we are consuming. So that is always helpful. So there are so many things, formulations that are being created. We are talking about larger industry. We have so many research scientists that have been working in this category. So everything that is made, even if it is using proper natural ingredients. Like for example, if we know about ashwagandha, if you have been in an Indian household, you might have heard about ashwagandha. It's not a new word. If you have heard, you might have heard about shatavari, right? Now, ask a child of, let's say, 6 years old to consume ashwagandha. Nobody's going to do it, right? It's a powder. It tastes horrible, so nobody's going to do it, right? But let's make it into a combination which tastes better. Yeah. See, the medicines are made taste better because people have to consume it. You cannot make everyone. See, I have a friend. He can consume bitter gourd juice like it's a squash. Okay, so he does that. So there are people who are okay with consuming everything. See, you might have heard Virat Kohli talking that I don't eat food for taste. I eat food to gain energy. So yes, there are such kind of people, and there are people who love their taste buds. So there are two types. So even in case of medicines, if you want to give a proper effect, there has to be something that is derivative. Uh, Somebody, right? Somebody found stevia, right? You know stevia, right? It's like artificial sweetener. So it's a leaf. For a certain time, even I didn't know that it was a leaf, and the leaf is giving you that sweetness. Somebody came up with a method to extract the sweetness from stevia leaves, and there is a proper time to get it. There are proper time to harvest stevia leaves to get the proper sweetness. There are so many things that works in this industry. Beautiful. The proper method to extract, the proper method of combining all these things can be patented because of the AYUSH scheme. Okay, so it's been a huge help to people in this field because so much research was going on, so many things were being made, but they were not getting the correct acknowledgement that they deserved, which the AYUSH scheme gave them. Okay, so because we are talking about what can be patented, we should also know what cannot be patented. So the first thing is Chyawanprash. See, when we're talking about Chyawanprash, the knowledge about Chyawanprash is already available in the traditional book. I was recently listening to a storyteller. Okay, so I am not completely I'm not linking that person to anything, but I heard him say that there was a time where Chyawanprash, the combination of Chyawanprash was used to keep the cell multiplication, to keep you young. Okay, I forgot that story, but there is a historic book, there is a traditional book where Chyawanprash, the formulation of Chyawanprash was given such that the youthness of that person will stay if consumed. That means Chyawanprash is not just, we take it for immunity, right? We think, oh, Chyawanprash khane se immunity hoti hai. It's not just about immunity. It also helps your skin multiply better. It keeps you young. Your skin keeps glowing. If you have ever had Chyawanprash, it's not just about immunity. So the formulation of Chyawanprash, which is already available in the traditional book, you cannot apply for a patent. Okay, until and unless you make the changes. Okay. If you, I forgot that Ayurvedic Vednath. Yes, the brand by Vednath. If you are in this field, you might know Vednath has so many patents in this sector now. They are one of the people who have patented so many formulations because they have created something from natural ingredients helping humans for ages. Just go and search Vednath. I know you might have, but still, because I'm explaining about AYUSH, I need to tell you about the people or the companies which I have already heard about. Okay, that's a part of this lecture, right? Giving all the knowledge as much as possible. Basic yoga meditation step. Yes, you cannot patent meditation, yoga, or any kind of art which brings effect to your body. Yes, you cannot patent it. You cannot come up with a. I had a client speak for. They are like, if these steps are followed, it gives a better effect to your body. You cannot patent it. Okay. You can monitor it, you can control it. The device for monitoring, controlling can be applied for a patent. But yes, yoga poses like dance moves and dance steps cannot be patented. Okay. Non-modified traditional recipe, we already understand that. And plant parts raw form without novel processing. If you say that take ginger, beat it into a paste with some neem leaves and consume it, yeah, because it's all natural ingredients, cannot be patented. And apart from that, if you discover something, do not patent it. It cannot be patented. Give it your name, publish papers, great. You cannot patent it. Okay. So I hope that the Ayush scheme or the Ayush facility, the Ayush was very clear. We tried to give you as much knowledge as possible. This was the end to our 5 weeks lecture. So first of all, before we go on to the Q&A, I would like to thank my team who has been so supportive. Even during our travels, they were in the backhand working. So as you know, Saurabh Sharma has been designing all our presentations. So thank you, Saurabh, for great creative work. I mean, I loved it. I love presenting your work. Megha for coordinating, for handling all the, the setting up and all the technical things she was handling from the office. Even in very bad rain, today we have like the entire state of Gujarat is having almost do not work situation because of the heavy rains. Still, she's in the office because the session had to go through. Srishti Rajaguru, she managed the entire lecture in the entire 5 weeks. She has been coordinating with the team and going haywire even in my absence. So thank you so much, Team MYCrave, for the great support. I hope the audience who have been part of this 5 weeks lecture, thank you so much for staying tuned with us. And I hope in the upcoming lectures, you will again visit us. Right now, as I told you, our team is in state of Kerala. We just completed state of Maharashtra. We are in Kerala. And in a few months, we'll be in the top north. So if you still wish to have such a lecture at your campus, you want our team to be a part of your college, and you want to be a part of Mission Invent, you're always welcome. You can reach us to the numbers that you can see on the screen. You can DM us. We'll be there for you. And if you're currently in Kerala, you want to meet us, we're here. You can just ask our team where to visit us. Okay. So thank you everyone for being a part of such great 5 weeks lecture. And if you have any questions, let's address that. So if anybody has questions, they can unmute and ask me. Our entire presentation will be live on YouTube, I think in a day or two. Because of the heavy rains, our office is currently not functioning from the office. They are all working from home. But I think by Monday, Tuesday, we'll have the entire lecture live on YouTube. You can revisit again. So you'll have the entire details there. Trishala ma'am, as per your request, you can just put it down. Our team is going through all the requests that you're making, and we'll definitely try to provide as much as information as possible. We'll be scheduling our sessions soon on the next topics. We'll be advertising them too. So please stay tuned to us, and we'll definitely take note of your request on regulatory affairs. We'll definitely take it up for the next one. Just one more thing. I think there was a question. Yes, our company officially provides patent, copyright, design, trademark filing services. So if you are looking for that, we do provide. We have been doing that for the past 12 years. Invent Mission is just an intent or a mission by the founders of our company. They have the intent to spread as much knowledge as possible, as much correct knowledge as possible, as much transparent knowledge as possible. And that is why we have taken up free seminar lectures and webinar lectures for the educational institute, startups and everything. So yes, service providing is one part of our company, and seminars, we do it for, I think, fun to spread the correct knowledge, because our founders have always been a core part of it. So if you can just go down to, if you are looking for our LinkedIn profiles, you can just go down and write Pooja Menon MYCrave, you'll find me there. Or Dhruv Brahmbhatt, who is the managing director of our company, you'll find us there. Just write the company name MYCrave, MYCrave, and you'll find us there.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Please tell me, sir.
Ma'am, if we combine two already known formulations, how much test data should we have before filing an AYUSH patent?
Okay, so what the government requires is they require three things. One is test the first ingredient and what effect it is providing. Test the second ingredient and what output it is providing. And when you combine it, how much difference it is in combination with the one and two individually. So it's not about kitna report de raha hai, it's about how much change. Even if it is 2%, it is more than enough. It's not how much, it's not always about the quantity. It's about showing that even if there is a 2% difference in what A ingredient and B ingredient did individually, you can apply for a patent. It should show some kind of technical enhancement in aspect of anything. It can be time. Like as I told you, it can be a time of absorption. Let's say when you're combining, if you have cough and cold, we consume turmeric and milk. We all have done it, right? But the turmeric and milk, maybe it takes a week to get the sore throat. But whenever we consume antibiotics, it gets cured in 2 days, 3 days. Why is that? Because the absorption ratio, or you cannot just, I'm just talking about the absorption. If the combination gives you better absorption, better cure, faster cure, I mean not better cure, faster cure, or if the combination gives you a better effect than what this individual done, either will work as a property to show that it is a novel formulation. So it should give something better than individual combination. If you can prove it in either of this, you can apply for a patent.
Ma'am, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
Ma'am, I have prepared one combination, one combination of neem, tulsi, and piplamul, and this is. But their industrial application is something different, not yet patentable. But one patent attorney says that these ingredients are well known, so this idea is not patentable.
It was the case before 2025, ma'am, but right now it's not the case. If you can show that the combination is bringing some effect which was not previously known, you can patent it. Before 2025, even we rejected multiple patents, ma'am, because there was no scope because of the traditional knowledge. Right now, even if the ingredients are known, first thing is bring them to a proper proportion. You cannot come up with a random proportion ki haan, thoda neem dal do, thoda tulsi dal do, thoda adrak dal do. No, you cannot do that. You need to come up with a proper proportion that itne proportion mein ye ingredients hone chahiye. And second, how you're making the entire formulation, that should be there, and what effect it is bringing. All these three things is properly highlighted. You can apply for a patent and have a test case report for sure.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your information.
Ma'am, I have one more question.
Sure.
Are computer-based studies like molecular ducting or network pharmacology are enough for a patent, or we have to do clinical test result?
See, if there is something where you're claiming on an effect on human beings, then the testing is necessary. See, it depends upon what type of things you're trying to claim patent on. Like I had a patent where they were talking about the effect on humans. So in that case, the testing is necessary. But if you're just talking about formulation or method of implementation, the human testings are not necessary, or any type of testing is not necessary. Yeah, Srishti, please.
Sorry to chime in, but Saurabh, when we are talking about molecular docking and such techniques, that are in silico techniques. So what we do is we are not directly using the products on any living organism. We are simulating those effects. So if you have that data, that will definitely support it. But if you don't have, then Pooja has already told you what to do and what not to do.
Yeah. See, in this matter, if you have data, it's always helpful. The data is the only thing that can support, because otherwise it's just your word against the world's word. So yes, always have data to just support your whatever you're trying to claim. Okay, so I hope you all had a great lecture. If you have any further questions, you can just reach us on WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Facebook, anywhere. Our team is already available. And this was the end to our 5 weeks lecture. I hope you all had fun. If you have missed any of our lectures, you can just go back to our YouTube channel, MYCrave. We have all the videos uploaded. And if you have any other personal doubts regarding IPR, please reach us to our team. We're available on WhatsApp, emails, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you want. So till we schedule our next program, keep thinking, keep innovating, keep protecting. and give correct knowledge to people. Okay, do not spread your fears, your myths to others. If you don't understand something, ask the professionals. Asking a professional is never. And please do not rely on AI for Indian patents. If you are asking Google or AI questions, specify Indian patents, because I have so many clients who come up like, Google ne to aisa nahi bola, AI ne to aisa nahi bola. Ask them with respect to Indian patent sections and rules. Then it will give you a precise answer. Okay, otherwise, please get hold of patent agents or attorneys. They have been studying, working, engaging with patent office for such a long time. They'll give you proper knowledge as much as possible, or anytime you can reach MYCrave. We are always available. Okay, so thank you everyone for being.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt you. I have one question, ma'am.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Ma'am, I have registered one design application in 32 September 25.
Okay.
So now I got a FER for that, I think in December or January.
Okay.
So now it is showing case is in amended case of controller.
Yeah.
So it's almost 10 months. It is showing like that. After the FER, it is showing the same status. So can you be, when should I get this registration certificate for my design application?
Okay, so sir, the first and foremost thing that you need to do is, see, we don't know what the patent office or the design office is going through, because in the last, I think since, as you said, since last July, we have been facing a lot of issues with respect to the certificate. Controller's amendment is the last stage before the certificate. So what you can do is, you can reach the patent office directly. In the FER report issued, there is a phone number of the patent office or the controller who has examined. Give him a call or just mail him or put it into grievances. They will look into it. Calling is the best thing that you can do. We have been doing this, but without letting them know that you have been waiting, the things have got a lot of delay. But do mail them, do call them. Even mail the controller, the main controller. There is an email address. If you go to ipindia.gov.in, there is an email address of Controller General, CG, dot, I think, IPO, dot, something of that sort. Just mail them. Because we do understand the pain, we all have been going through the same. But I think that delay is because of some internal restructuring that is going on. Mail them, call them to the extent that you can do, because 10 months is a long time that you've been waiting.
Sure. Is it a positive step, ma'am?
Yes, absolutely. See, letting them know that your application is in waiting. See, understand. Right now, Piyush Goyal sir informed that India filed 1.43 patents. That is the first time in so many years India filed. So the patent office is currently not in the capacity to handle patents in that strength. Design is twice or thrice to that count. So that is why the delay. So just let them know that you're in urgency. They'll handle it. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. So I hope there is no further questions. If you have, please do reach us our team, and we'll be winding up this lecture. So thank you everyone for being a part of Mission Invent, and I hope we'll connect soon. Thank you. Bye.